In today's video, we are discussing the mystery of the time traveler who sent his photo from the future. This story originated not too long ago, in 2006, in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. A young man appeared there in a very confusing situation. He was wearing old-fashioned clothes and had an old camera hanging around his neck. Everyone thought he was mad, but who knew that, after some time, he would become the mystery of time travel. Let's uncover his story. He has been telling everyone that his name is Sergei Ponomarenko. When the police request his ID, he hands them an ID issued from a country that no longer exists in the present time. The ID is from the Soviet Union, which does not exist anymore. As we all know, Ukraine was once part of the Soviet Union. By the day this incident occurred, approximately 20 years had passed since the dissolution of the Soviet Union. It's not that the Ukraine police haven't seen an ID from the Soviet Union before. This man appears to be around 20 to 25 years old, yet his identification shows his birth year as 1932, which is also confirmed by his photograph on the ID. After observing all these factors, the police are extremely confused. They cannot understand how a man who was born in 1932 and is therefore 74 years old in 2006 could look as though he is only 20 to 25 years of age. The police questioned Sergei, asking him what today's date was. After a little thought, he answered that the date was 23 April 1958. This led the police to realize that the man was clearly unstable. So then they took him to a mental hospital where Dr. Pablo Kutrikov checked his mental health. Also, Sergei does not understand what is happening to him. The doctor asks Sergei if he remembers how he got from 1958 to 2006. He tells the doctor that he went to the city to take pictures in the daytime when he saw a strange object flying in the sky. The doctor asks him what the object looked like, but he says he can't explain. However, Sergei stated that when he saw the object, he captured a photo of it flying on his camera. Afterwards, he gave the camera to the doctor who questioned him. The doctor was shocked after hearing this, but his shock deepened upon seeing an aged camera named Yashica Flex. Despite the age of the camera, it did not appear antique at first glance. The real issue was figuring out how to check the photos in the camera because the film roll it uses was discontinued in 1970. Consequently, they contacted Vadim Posner, a photographer expert. Through inspection, he discovered that the camera roll was manufactured in 1956. Then expert develops the photographs, resulting in further confusion. The old photos within the camera, featuring cars and buildings from Kiev, are all seemingly from the 1950s. Also included in the camera are pictures of Sergei and his girlfriend, taken in the 1950s. Interestingly, the current day Sergei looks identical to the young man in the old photos. The last photo on the camera roll is of an unidentifiable object flying in the sky. After considering all of this, the doctor has no choice but to believe that Sergei has somehow time traveled from 1958 to 2006. Sergei then stands, exits the doctor's clinic, closes the door, and never returns. Without any concrete evidence, Sergei Ponomarenko disappears. If he left anything significant behind, it was his camera, the photographs, and his bewildering story. This story is so strange that those who try to understand it only get more confused. When the police investigated the case, they discovered that a man genuinely disappeared from Kiev in 1960. His name was Sergei Ponomarenko. Upon tracking down Sergei's girlfriend, who was spotted in archive photographs, they discovered she is now a 70-year-old woman. She informed the police that back in 1958, Sergei mysteriously disappeared from Kiev only to return a few days later. Since 1950, his missing periods matched the time frame when he was observed in 2006. However, Sergei's girlfriend mentioned that he vanished again in 1960 and never returned. There is one more twist in this story. After many years, Sergei's girlfriend received a photo of him, along with a note written from the year 2050. Sergei looks older in this photo, and the background of the photo is Kiev City. He also wrote in the note that he would be coming soon, but, for various reasons, this has not happened. Sergei Ponomarenko's story was broadcast on a Ukrainian TV show and subsequently went viral on the internet. However, the lingering question was whether or not this story was real, which we will discuss. But first, we want to clarify if it's possible for time travel to occur. Undoubtedly, we are always traveling through time. Spending an hour signifies that we are moving forward forward in time by 1 hour. However, if someone was to spend their hour in half that time, they would be traveling into the future at a rate that's faster than the rest of us. This concept was developed by Albert Einstein in his theory of special relativity. The theory proposes that time within space is not constant, rather, it depends on the speed of an object and its mass. This is comparable to how oxygen levels change at different altitudes. The theory suggests that space and time are dependent on the speed of an object and its mass. Since we live on Earth, our perception of time is influenced by Earth's mass and speed. Essentially, the theory argues that as speed increases, time passes more slowly. Suppose we are sitting in a spaceship that travels the universe at the speed of light for 5 years and then returns to Earth. According to our clock, 5 years will have passed, but on Earth, 36 years would have passed. This time difference between the two clocks is referred to as time dilation. To prove Albert Einstein's theory, an experiment was conducted, revealing significant differences in the clocks. Thus, we consider the possibility of future time travel. Theoretically, it is possible, but scientifically and practically, the creation of such a craft that can fly at the speed of light is currently not impossible. We are hopeful that in the future, someone may successfully build such a craft and unlock the mystery of time travel. However, it remains uncertain whether Sergei Ponomarenko's story was real or not. Actually, this story was broadcast on a Ukrainian TV show in 2012 titled Aliens. There were some significant discrepancies noted, such as the footage from Sergei and the doctor that was theoretically taken on Wednesday. However, upon checking the calendar, it was found that this date was actually a Sunday, implying that the video was recorded on a different day and the timestamp added later. Additionally, Sergei Ponomarenko's ID stamp varied from the standard 90s Soviet Union stamp, offering another clue to its authenticity. A photo of a supposed 2050 cityscape of Kiev, presented by Sergei's girlfriend, was also determined to be a photoshopped image. There were no police investigation records available related to this incident anywhere. Moreover, the credibility of the so-called renowned Dr. Pablo Kutrikov was questioned as his name was not found on any internet websites. Of course, this story was well thought out, but internet users believe that it was orchestrated solely for the show's ratings. Confusion appears on the subject of time travel when one assumes that if time travel to the future is possible, then time travel to the past would be equally possible. This concept is also seen in many science fiction films. However, the scientific community generally believes that this is not possible due to the potential for paradoxes. Imagine, for instance, you are sitting in a machine that transports you 10 years into the past where you prevent the creation of the time machine. If such a thing occurred, how would you have gotten there in the first place? This is the situation known as time travel paradox. In 2009, Stephen Hawking arranged a party where he was the only one in attendance. Interestingly, he publicized an invitation to this party 1 year later, stating that should any time travelers be present, they could go back in time and attend the party. Essentially, he wanted to convey the message to people that traveling into the past is not possible.